Now we have the penultimate race just before a short intermission here at Adria Karting Raceway. It's now time for the first of 3 qualifying heats for the expanded field, I might add, for DD2. So it's qualifying heat number 1, Groups A and B. Jan Schwitter with that absolutely brilliant 49.879 earlier on today. We'll have Nico Jog from Austria alongside, who was literally 0.011 of a second adrift in qualifying. Then it's Enderua and Jakub Bezel on row number 2. Zander Schiblak and Ville Villainen, row 3. Friedrich Jerich and also Riccardo Alberti, that is row 4. Then we also have Irme Brisdo and Dionysis Liveris rounding out the top 10. Luca Munoretto and also Jan Slozar round out the top 6 rows with Oliver Breitenbach and Markus Heimbüchner, row 7. That's Jusso Pantela and Aleix Navarro Amigo, row 8. That is with also Marcel Steinert and Imke Arts on row 9. Brandon Smith, Nico Prüger, Mike Zürscher and Florian Breitenbach, 22nd this afternoon. So we will see what happens over the next 10 minutes plus an additional lap here in Adria. Sun continues to beat down here on Saturday afternoon. Local time nearly 2:30 p.m. So your top 10 here as the front row is starting to control things. Jan Schwitter on pole, Nico Jörg, Zenderhur, Jakub Bezel, Zander Schiblak, Ville Villainen, Friedrich Jerich, Riccardo Alberti, Imre Brisdo, Dionysis Liveris round out the top 10. They now head towards the final corner here at this fantastic facility at Adria Karting Raceway. We're about to go green for the 3rd time this weekend and also for the season. Let's see what happens over the next 10 or so minutes as they go heading towards the tram lines. Will this also be lights out first time round? Yes, it was, and Schwitter definitely got the whole shot there. So as it's 2-3 abreast going through turn 2, that's very dicey indeed. Around about sort of the bottom part of the top 10. Dionysis Liveris definitely looking to make up a couple of positions and has got past the treble 4. That is Alberti, one of the Italians. So, but at the moment, looks like Schwitter is holding on at the moment, but it's a big battle for 2nd and 3rd position. So they're coming through the left-hander at turn 8. Round turn 9 they come, heading towards the last corner. So it will be Jan Schwitter from Switzerland on the OTK of FM Racing here at Adria that will lead, but by a very mere margin. And Zander Schiblak up from 5th, up into 2nd, ahead of Zenderua with Nico Jörg, who was on the front row alongside Schwitter. Handing the Slovenian going up into turn 3, tries to make the gap. Oh, that was very close. Derua got there in front just in the nick of time. And then also Friedrich Jerich has also made up 2 positions, up from 7th to 5th in the process. But I think might have just lost out to Jakub Bezel. There is some definite tussling going on, a bit more jostling for position here out on track. So top 10 is rounded out by Luca Munoretto. Just behind Dionysis Liveris at the moment, but the lead is coming through to complete another lap. The 4-cart train is still being led by Jan Schwitter, as there's a bit more argy-bargy down at the back part of the field. 2 leaders. Well, Schiblak really was within 1/10 of a second of Schwitter. These two have been battling in the B&L Karting Series as well as now the Euro Trophy as the leaders come through turn 2. Now it's the deep braking zone into the tight left-hander at turn number 3. Schwitter is absolutely holding on. Because Schiblak is definitely hounding around the back bumper of the 427 from Switzerland. Meanwhile, this is allowing Zenderua and also Nico Jörg to get back into the mix. Schiblak sends it up the inside going through turn 6. Nicely done there by the Belgian, running with Bouvin power. So he gets past the number 427, Jan Schwitter, who is now coming into the clutches. Zenderua goes for the gap as well and takes the place. Nico Jörg goes around the inside and takes the pair of them, heading out of turn number 9. What a great job from Nico Jörg to go back into 2nd. That was absolute dynamite. One of the best overtakes I've seen so far in this race weekend alone, and there's still more to come, I bet, from the DD2 contingent. So at the moment, other positions that have been made, Alberti up into 13th behind Jusso Pantela. So also the one of the Breitenbachs, which is the number 433. And that is Florian, who started last, now up into 16th. So that's good with Oliver up into 14th position. So it's definitely getting... Now, Schriblak has really got a big lead because Jan Schwitter now down in 4th position. And I think, is that Vili Villainen behind? I'm not too sure. Or could it be one of the Basels? That looks to be... Yeah, that definitely looks to be one of the Basels. And that is Jakub. So... that is really close. It's less than a tenth between them. Now, what is going to happen going into turn 2? Bessel does not get the advantage at the moment because Schwitter takes a tighter line. Dodura is going ultra defensive on Nico Jorg, going through turns 2 and into 3. Meanwhile, Schriblak has got a lead of nearly a second on this particular lap. So, 6 minutes 15, plus 1 lap to go here at Adria in the first qualifying heat for DD2 here. As now, I'm just seeing, did Brisdo get past? Yep, looks to be by Friedrich Jerich. That is for 8th position now. That was through the inside of turn number 5. So Friedrich made a really good, clean move there. But Schriblak, when he gets into the front, I think the other guys think, oh, well, we're going to leave it to him to it. We're going to squabble over the scraps ourselves. And the gap now is 1.55 seconds between first and second position. Then it's a further 10th and a half back to Nico Jorg, who is really closing up again on Zenderua for this second position. So Jorg on the 4:39. Now this could allow Schwitter to come back at them because Schwitter was second quickest out of the drivers populating second to 4th position. But Schriblak has just pumped in the fastest lap of this race of 50.829. And behind them they have got Vili Villainen. Dionysius Liveris has been on a move whilst I've not been keeping an eye on him. He's up into 7th position as the Greek driver, just ahead of Brisdo in the 450. Then it's Jerich and Schlosar rounding out the top 10. Now there is a car that had to, I think, relinquish a couple of places there. Couldn't really see. That might have been Heimbuchner. Wasn't 100% sure on that one. So, at the moment, the lead now between first and second is just over 1.1 seconds. It's getting closer and closer to being over 1.2 to 1.3, depending on how hard Zander Schriblak wants to push. The battle for second still quite clearly on between Zenderua in the 435 and Nico Jorg. With Jan Schwitter, I think, is being left a little bit... Whoa, there's been a clash! Oh, that was very close indeed. Now, who was that was involved there? Was that Liveris and Basel? I'm not too sure. I think that might be... Dionysius Liveris was involved in that, but that was very, very lucky that we didn't have a flip, and that was on turn 6. So one driver clearly not taking any further part in this race. Oh, well, that was Vili Villainen. Vili Villainen, I thought I recognised the blue and white overalls. Vili Villainen out. And that has demoted Liveris all the way down to 21st. Now that will be, I think, definitively looked at as to what happened. It looked like it might have been that Liveris was going up the inside of Villainen going into turn 6. Now the thing is that I've just seen how Liveris has just come through off of turn 3, and he looks to still be going quickly. So whether that was minimal impact for him, but maximal damage for Vili Villainen. So that was very lucky that the kart didn't backflip onto its top there, because Vili Villainen would have been stuck underneath it. So thank goodness Vili was able to just walk away from that, but that's a lot of work for the mechanics to do for the Finnish driver. So we've got just under 3 minutes plus an additional lap to go. The gap now between Zander Schriblak and Zenderua is now nearly 1.3 seconds. But Nico Jorg is still looming very much in the proximity of Zenderua for the second position, having started on the front row in second alongside Jan Schwitter. Schwitter is now a further nigh on 0.7 of a second adrift in 4th position, with Jakub Basel in 5th. Slozar, who started in 12th position, now up into 6th position. Juuso Pantala up into 7th. Friedrich Erich, Ime Brisdo, and the number 432 of Oliver Breitenbach now rounds out the top 10. As so your guess might be as good as mine whether that might be investigated by the stewards post-race. Not too sure. So at the minute, it's still, I think it's basically Zander Schiblak's race to lose, but he seems to be doing a very good job at staying in front at the minute. So the gap could look to extend past 1.3 seconds very, very shortly. So Schiblak crosses the line, and it's now well, the gap has been pretty much kept the same, as the fastest lap of the race so far has not gone to Zander Schiblak. It's actually gone to Jan Schlosar in the 420, who's currently sitting in 6th position and is about a second adrift off of Jakob Bezel, who's in 5th, with Jan Schwitter still rounding out the top 4. So I think Jan was very much right in his prediction when he admitted to me earlier on that he was going to have some stiff competition, and he has in the form of the 3 in front of him, but then there's also quite a few that I know could challenge. Dionysis Liveris at the moment still sitting in 21st, but there will be a recovery operation for the car to Ville-Ville-Leinen post-race. It's a little bit further down the order. There's a nice move up the inside of what looks to be turn number 8. I can't really make out which position that was, but hopefully the drivers will be coming through very shortly, so I'll be able to pick them out. And that looks to be, well, Florian Breitenbach has been on a charge for the past few laps. Make that nearly the past 10 minutes, and has gone from 22nd to the halfway point of the field, 11th, just behind Oliver. So great work by Florian Breitenbach. His best lap of the race, well, his last time around, was actually over a 10th quicker than Oliver. So that's very promising to see. So time is now counting down. So, final lap it is. Time's expired. One more lap to go. Schiblak has got just over 1,300 meters to go as he goes flying into turn number 1 here at Adria. With Zenderua still fending off Nico Jorg, who nearly goes off track, coming out of the right-hand sweeper at turn number 1. So, no changes in positions. Well, there is one, and it's Dionysis Liveris who's got past Nico Brugger. For 20th position, so Dionysis Liveris could have gone for a top 5 finish, but after the clash with Ville-Ville-Leinen, unfortunately, that put the Grecian on the back, the back foot, so to speak, and hasn't really recovered from it. But through the left-hander at turn 7, into the left at 8. Now, Zander Schiblak comes back round through turn 9, round towards the final corner. Checkered flag is being prepared, and for the first time, it's going to be waving for Zander Schiblak from Belgium for Bouvin Power by 1.175 seconds over Zenderua. Nico Jorg takes a well-deserved and hard-fought 3rd position, having kept the Slovenian under close scrutiny for the majority of that race. Jan Schwitter, who started on pole position, finished in 4th place ahead of Jakob Bezel. Jan Schlosar made a great few moves up the field to finish 6th. Juuso Pantala started 15th, finished in 7th place ahead of Friedrich Erich, who started in 7th position. So, but when it was all said and done, it was Zander Schiblak from Belgium in the Bouvin Power 422 that took the win here, starting from 5th position. Then it was Slovenia's Zenderua, and then Nico Jorg rounding out the top 3. Jan Schwitter takes 4th position ahead of Jakob Bezel. Jan Schlosar, who started in 12th position, finished in 6th. Juuso Pantala started 15th, finished in 7th. Friedrich Erich started 7th, finished in 8th position. Irme Brisdo finished exactly where the number 450 qualified, with Oliver Breitenbach starting in 10th, with Florian Breitenbach rounding out the top 11. Luca Muneretto finished in 12th ahead of Mike Zerscher, who actually made his way through the field from 21st to 15th, to 13th. Alex Navarro Amigo finished in 14th ahead of Ricardo Alberti, who started in 8th. So that's a real shame for the Italian, who will have a lot of local knowledge. Then it was also Marcel Steinert, Brandon Smith. Then we also had Hein Buchner, Imke Arts, Nico Brugger, and Dionysis Livris, with Ville Villelainen's cart now being put onto the trailer off of turn number 6. And that's a real shame for the Finn, who's been ultra competitive. But I know that we will see him back for their second qualifying heat a little bit later on today.